All right, guys, we're back at Best Damn Powder Coating. We are getting ready to get back into the red truck finally. I know the last 2 weekends have been spent doing powder coating and then doing the trip to driver, which was a lot of fun, but you know, it wasn't actually getting any progress on the red truck, so we're moving right back into that right now. We're going to pull the front bumper off like we said we were. We're going to get into the coolant system and get that figured out as we can get it. We're going to try to use a shorter, stubbier radiator that's just thicker so it doesn't run full length of the front of the truck to save us some room to hopefully put a front mount intercooler in. That's the plan right now, but as soon as you pull stuff off of these little trucks, your plans can quickly change. That's what I've learned during this entire process. The interior is still gutted. We haven't got a chance to clean that up yet, but hopefully by the end of this weekend, we'll have this interior cleaned up. I need to modify the fuel cell. You know what? Tell me what you guys think about the fuel cell. Do y'all want to see the fuel cell like right up in there for everybody to see? Or do you want to see it down here where it went? Because I was considering getting it notched to receive right here in the bed frame where it's set in stock position, then have like a little fill spout right into there. But I mean, if you guys chime in and you like it up there, we'll leave it up there. You guys chime in, you tell me to put it back in the stock position. That's what we're gonna do. Interact with me, help me out. I wanna hear your thoughts on everything. And we're gonna do this project and we're gonna push forward doing it that way, you know? I want all of us to have a good time. Anybody watching, if you have a suggestion, I will take it seriously. I'm not a professional by any means, so you know, I know there's people out there watching right now that probably have better ideas than I do. So let's hear them, guys, but we're gonna dive into this front bumper, dive into this coolant system, and let's get on that right now. Intro! All right, so I've removed plenty of Honda front bumpers in my time. Never an Acty front bumper. There is a 10 millimeter somewhere around here, and there's 10 millimeters somewhere around here. And we're gonna get those out. We're gonna see if releasing this side and the other side simply gets it off. I doubt it. Probably some ridiculous crap like I have to take the headlights out and then pull the brake lines, but hopefully not. So we're gonna get these two out and move over to the other side and get those two out and start aggressively trying to yank this front bumper off. Let's go. I have power tools, I'm using power tools. Yeah. Better. All right, let's see if this bumper is gonna come off this easy. It's not gonna come off this easy, but we're gonna see. All right, so forgive the steep angle. I got the little truck right up on my work table, so we have room to walk around behind. I could roll it back with a forklift, but I'm not going to. I have just enough room to work, and I'm gonna leave it that way for now. And we're gonna try to get this bumper off. I doubt that there was only 4 bolts holding this bad boy on, but we're getting ready to go for it anyways. I'm not Googling how to take this bumper off. I'm stubborn, and I prefer to learn things the hard way. So I'm just gonna start pulling and see where it doesn't wanna let loose from. Then I'll start taking more stuff off because that's the way I do things. I'm just gonna say what everyone's always thinking when doing something like this. Why do they have to mix up like a single panel? Why does a bumper need 10s and 12s to be exterior hold-on bolts? Like, couldn't they have designed the whole thing to be 10s or 12s? Thanks a lot, Honda. I think it just let loose by itself. Moment of truth. Yeah! All right, so you just saw me pull the radiator out. That was less than an hour ago. I went to lunch and I came back with this bad boy right here. Got a Skunk2 Racing radiator. You may ask yourself, how did you go get a radiator in under an hour? Well, I have a shop right down the road from me. Shifted Raceworks, they actually keep all this stuff in stock. So if you're in the Charlotte area, Shifted Raceworks, you find yourself in the need for lowering springs, a turbo kit, a radiator, front mount intercooler, and you want it right now, you don't want to wait, Shifted Raceworks are your guys. Let's get this thing open. We're going to compare it to the old one, take it up to the front, and see exactly how much shit we're going to have to cut out. All right, everybody, I spared you the unboxing video because I know we've all seen enough unboxing videos in our lives already. So this radiator is for a 92 to 2000 Honda Civic. It is really cool looking. It's got a sticker on top and everything. It's Alpha Rad. But let's do a quick size comparison. It's bigger, but not massively bigger. We are ready to do some more cutting. Couldn't find my safety glasses, but you know it. Highway to the danger zone. Martha's a good girl. All right, so it's time to modify the bumper. It's time for Martha to lick all the power tools and trip over them. Take your ass back in the shop. All right, it's just on the scissor jack right now, but that is our placement. That's where I want it to be. Leaves enough room to get to the fill spout. It leaves plenty of room behind for a nice big puller fan to help keep us cool. It really comes pretty close to lining up with the factory radiator hoses. It's almost too easy, so something must be wrong, but there it is. It will clear the bumper, and we'll get into making mounting brackets now. All right, there we go. It's just a simple piece of steel. Connects A and B, nothing fancy, but that'll give us something to tie the center of the radiator to give us some support. And once we get that in place, we can actually start thinking about permanent hose placement. We will order a radiator fan. I know we still have the factory wiring harness there, but we're gonna go ahead and put that fan on a relay and a switch system. We're gonna have everything for the K24 to be on an independent system from the actual truck harness, since there's not a lot to these truck harnesses. All right, so I know this isn't a great camera angle and terrible lighting, but that bracket is a bust. No good. As you can see, where that little steel piece is running across is exactly where we are going to want our fan to be. So I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to work my way down to the bottom of the radiator and then stab back up into those corners, and then I'll just tack weld it all in place right there, and then I'll pull it out, then I'll cut that center section out, if that makes any sense to anyone listening. But I have a plan now. If at first you don't succeed, try again, fail, try again, fail, try again, fail. Let's do it. All right, so here's our lower support bracket for the actual radiator and where it's going to rise up and tie back into the chassis. And we just got that tacked in around the corners. We're going to make sure we are really sure before we go too far with it. But it spans the exact width of the truck behind the radiator. And so this will cradle the radiator instead of running across the back of it. And that way, with this, we'll have all the room for the biggest, meanest puller fan that we can get for this radiator to ensure that the coolant stays nice and cool and does cooling things with cooling properties. It's going to be Super cool. All right, so we now have our bracket in, we have our radiator on standby. We just cut these two little tabs. We're going to tack weld these into the lower bar itself with the radiator mocked up into place in its permanent position. Once we get these tack welded in, we'll remove all of it. We will weld up the entire support, and at that point, put two holes into these tabs, and we should be able to put it all back together. Radiator should be mounted in the little truck, and then we're gonna start test fitting the bumper to see what it's gonna take to get the cover back on. All right, coming at you live from the floor. Trying to get me and the project all in the same shot. It's been pretty difficult, but so I'm here. Project's there. We have the magnet holding the tab into place. The radiator is fixed to where we want it to be. As soon as I get up off the floor, we're gonna tack weld it into place there and continue on the process that I was talking about before. I'm gonna go ahead and flip the camera around and try to get you a decent view of it all in place in case somebody wants to recreate this. But you know, be patient with me. I'm not gonna be able to see what I'm recording. I'm just gonna old shaky hand, roll that camera up in there, and I hope I get something usable for you guys. But if I don't, that's what you gotta do. The magnet, and then the tabby, and then the tack weldy, and we'll get you some footage of all of it right now. Floor is actually kind of comfy. It's kind of cool. It's dirty, but I mean, it's cool. It feels good on my stomach. I see why Martha's all about this life right here. It's good life. Just kidding. All right, our radiator support bracket is made, it is installed, the center has been cut out, tabs tack welded in, drilled out to receive the radiator. We'll install the radiator now and see if it's actually where we want it to be. All right, so our radiator is now officially bolted into our little truck. We're attached at 2 points at the bottom. Honestly, that's how the stock radiator was also. There was nothing holding it in at the top besides the coolant hoses. I will probably add one more point of attachment to the top. All right, so I know a question that I had that I'm sure people that are into this were wondering since I began. What is the size difference on the stock Honda radiator hose for the Acty versus the outlet for the Skunk2 that you've decided to go with? I thought it was gonna be more substantial, honestly. It's nothing crazy. It will have to be stepped up, but the outer diameter of both are almost identical. So I'll have the information for you later when I actually get into doing the step up and then the new soft hose to the radiator. But if this is the size difference, I'm not considerably worried about it because it's minimal. The size difference is going to be about the thickness of the hose itself. Honestly, with a little bit of heat and the right tools, you could probably manipulate this hose into getting on here. I'm not going to. I'd rather just step up the size right off the end of the hard line in the truck. But I am feeling a lot better about using the hard lines that are in the truck, because if this is what the Acty came with, and then this is what the Skunk2 has for K-swap Civics, we're gonna be okay. I'm really happy with the new radiator setup. It was a pleasant experience. It really didn't fight me at all. So we're gonna get this button back up. We're gonna move forward. Okay. All right, as you can see, we have our bumper. It is completely cut out to receive the new radiator. We were even able to retain the tag mount positioning. Shout out to me, being my own sponsor, Go Best Damn Powder Coating. We have the bumper back attached on both corners. It fits perfectly back in the stock position. The line tucks back in with the radiator in there, is not striking the cap. We will have to pull the bumper off when we want to bleed the coolant system, but at this point I have it held on by 4 10mm bolts. Popping that off just to get to the radiator fill honestly is going to be less work than trying to fill the stock radiator position from inside. I would prefer to take the bumper off 1,000 times before I had to go back and fill my coolant from underneath the glove box. You want to talk about no access? I don't know what they were thinking when they put it there. So I like this. I'm sticking with it. But you can see the new radiator, obviously a bit taller. It is hanging down. What we're going to do, I was thinking front lip, but with the way that the motor is in the back, we have all the weight over the back of the truck. So if any of you guys are into front wheel drive, all wheel drive Honda drag racing, they have what you call a weight plate. And the weight plate runs the entire length of the front of the bottom of the truck. What this gives us the ability to do, we weigh the front end down, and it gives us more attachment points for more fun parts. Obviously, there is no room on the front of this truck right now for a front mount intercooler, but the weight plate will have plenty of real estate. So we're gonna get the weight plate laser cut. It's probably gonna be about 3/16 of an inch, 1/4 inch steel plate. We'll get that, we'll get a nice little shape that'll work with the truck, that'll accent it, kind of like you would see on a front lip. And at the same time, it's also going to act as like a protector guard. So the bottom of the radiator, if I bottom out on something, that weight plate's going to take the abuse. We'll get that powder coated a beautiful color. We'll get to that in future episodes, but I figured somebody was going to see the radiator hanging out of the bottom of that bumper, and they're like, bro, you are going to rip that thing off. And without the weight plate, that's correct, but we are going to have one made, and I look forward to sharing that experience with you guys too. All right, now back to the red truck. My buddy Brian of Eastern Glass is coming out. He's going to be pulling this windshield. We have a decent amount of rust coming through this front sill. You can see it there, and it continues around the entire window. He's pulling this glass out. He gives me 50-50 chance we can save the glass itself, and if this glass is salvageable, it's going in my little white truck because the white truck has a crack in the glass. But the inner window sill looks really nice. And there you have it. Brian Hill with Eastern Glass was able to get the Honda Acty windshield out in one clean swipe. No chips, no cracks, no nothing. We're now going to repurpose this piece of glass for our little white truck, which has a very, very broken front windshield. And at the end of this project, we'll be ordering a brand new windshield for our red truck. All right, everybody. That's about all the time we have for this week's episode. I appreciate you tuning in, and I appreciate you watching this video all the way to the end. Next week, depending on if we get the rear axle tube back or not, we're going to get into that. If we don't get the rear axle tube back, we're going to get into the wiring and or the fuel system, get into some body work, keep pushing forward, because that's what we do. We're going to get this little truck up and screaming down the road. We're going to do burnouts. We're going to do donuts. We're going to break some stuff. It's going to be awesome. Stay tuned. You want to keep watching this. It's just going to get better, better, and better. I'm Chris Kirby, Insane Imports, Best Damn Powder Coating, and we will see you next week. Tiny Truck Life. Bye.